So lately I've been cracking open the Summoners War art book with the intent to look at the concept art that led to our favorite monster families and some of the concept art that got left on the cutting room floor. And today I'm going to be looking at two very popular monster families, the Dragon Knights and the Valkyries. We'll start with one of my personal favorites in the game, the Dragon Knights. And right away we get to see concepts that led to the final product. It seems that the Dragon Knight actually changed a lot during development. Early designs show that he was supposed to have more shared features with their namesake. More pronounced horns, scales, and even a tail were all considered. Some of these designs even feel youthful in tone, and I see why something like this didn't make it past initial concepts. While it's cool in its own way, I feel like it's a different character, not necessarily a noble knight who's experienced battle. Maybe this is someone lighter and younger at heart. A few even featured a dragon companion, which would later be revisited in the Lord of Beasts skin. Ultimately, I'm way happier with the stoic and steadfast design we ended up with. It's another that falls into the less is more approach, and I'm really happy they dialed it back on the horned helmets. The spread on the evil Eye Berserker skin actually gives a really unique look at the Dragon Knights. We get to see Leica without armor, and some profile drawings showing the human and dragon sides. This skin was meant to be a hybrid between a dragon and a human knight. It also implies that the dragon blood is sentient and fighting for control, waiting for a moment when its host loses focus. Next, we get a look at the Dragon Knight's Guardian skin, the Steel Monarch, which holds a special place in my heart because it looks like SSJ2 on Leo, if you know what I mean. This skin in-game takes the iconic leaps of the family and dials them up, which seems to be intentionally represented in the design of the skin. This one has fiery wings that spread out when he takes to the sky. Okay, now let's talk about the Valkyries. The chapter on them is full of design concepts and exclusive art. Right off the bat, we get some really pretty action shots of Vanessa, but what I really want to talk about are some of these never-before-seen transmog concepts. Two immediately draw my attention. The first has what looks like the Aurora Borealis in the wings. This skin is actually one of my favorites, and I'm pretty sure that some of the design elements were absorbed into the Guardian of Starlight Unicorn skin, and also the Spiritual Realm boss. The next one feels antiquated and regal. What I really like about this is that it shows just how willing the designers are to change key aspects of the character. They even play around with new hairstyles, though I imagine it would have been a little difficult to tell the difference between elements, so that may be why this one didn't get super far. The Ultimate Weapon Valkyrie skin is a lot of folks' favorite skin in the entire game, and I think that's because it so perfectly adds a fresh spin on an established idea. And here we have a couple examples on how we got to that final product. This design feels like it's so close to what eventually became the Ultimate Weapon skin that we know and love, but everything about it is bigger and louder. The weapon is huge, and the wings are equally huge. The design team even admitted that they reworked the draft more than 100 times to get the perfect one. This example is a little further from final than the last one, but it's cool to see just how out there they go when making a new skin. This particular one looks like it may have even been a precursor to the Idol Star Valkyrie skin, which is the perfect segue, because speaking of the Idol Star transmog, here are a couple of designs related to its development. I'll talk about these at the same time since they're really just variations on a similar concept. This one looks like another take on a Sailor Something skin. I really like the disconnected wings and just the overall tone of this design. It's very different from the normal personality of the Valkyrie. It's way more expressive and light. The one next door is a cool variant. The wings are back to being attached to her back, but the coolest part to me is actually in the asymmetrical armor. I really dig the boot on our left and the single shoulder pauldron, which is probably the hardest thing I've had to say all day. Feels like style took priority over safety. Not great for armor, but lovely for aesthetics. And last in the lineup, it's Camilla in Wonderland? How cute is this? Camilla fell down the rabbit hole. Everything about this skin just exudes charm. The key features are the signature spear being reimagined as a fork, the tea kettle and cup floating nearby, and her wings looking more cumulus than normal. I can only assume we didn't get this transmog because of the strangely high density of food-like monsters we've had in the game as of late. Maybe some of these design concepts found their way back into the Black Tea Bunny and her friends instead. Like I said at the top of the show, this entire episode was made possible by the Summoners War art book. If you'd like to check it out for yourself, follow along, or even jump ahead to chapters I've yet to cover, you can find it linked in the description down below on the Come To Us store, along with tons of other Summoners War merch. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you right back here for the next episode.